All right, folks, another week, another course to review. This week's course is St. George Golf Course in St. George, Utah. This is, I think, the last course on my list here of courses in the St. George area to review. So that means quite a few, but this one, I think, I was thinking that it would probably be the least interesting because it is on just off Route 7 east of Route 15 in almost in the Hurricane area, but the map is somewhat deceptive. Now the problem is I think this is the oldest course in St. George, and as such the course is the oldest looking course for sure, and without a doubt it is in one of the most populated areas of St. George. It is an interesting part. I've never actually been in this part of St. George. Usually the courses I've played have either been farther east in towards Hurricane on Route 7, which is kind of a boring place, or on Route 15 or north of Route 15, north or west of Route 15, which is a newer part, but is somewhat Miami-ish kind of, Coral Gables kind of, like a poor man's version of Coral Gables. And I would say it is not really all that really great looking of a part of St. George. So there's a dichotomy here on this course because this course is definitely one of the oldest, most beat up, most worn kind of course. It's a very flat course, but it doesn't play flat. There are parts of the course that have either elevated greens or elevated tees, and there's a fair amount of water in the course. You're definitely playing over water or near water on a lot of the course. There's also a fair amount of houses around the course, at least on one side of the course. The side that's where the clubhouse is almost all houses on at least the right side of the fairway. And then you have there's a road that comes through the side of the course on the left, and then there's another set of houses and everything way off on the left side of the course. It's pretty modest in terms of the houses on the course. I wouldn't say it's above average or below average. I'd say it's kind of average, but there are some really nice course houses there. It's a nice view. You get some nice views of the area from the course, and it's definitely picturesque. It's just a little bit, I don't know, it's the summer, dried out, whatever, but it's a little bit beat up. And there's a sort of a river or creek that runs along one side of the course, and it certainly adds some challenges. A lot of hazards on this course. You have to be careful when you're playing this course, and it's not. I would definitely say it's not your easy course. It's not a super hard course. Definitely not like some of the other courses, which are just a flat out challenge all the way around the course. This course is pretty modest. It's sort of like I would call a intermediate course in many ways, but mostly benign, or at least benign looking, except for the fact that it's probably one of the longest courses around the area that I've played. It's 7,200 yards from the gold tees, which are behind the blue tees and so forth. So about 130 between the front and back side. I think that I have some data here, which I will go through real quickly. And I'm going to put the name roughly, the general description here, so that I can keep track of this pretty easily. So this is the course webpage. We're going to sort this out here and organize everything. And it's a generic page. It's part of the St. George website, the county website or city website. And they have a page on that website in describing the St. George course. And the first one I just picked two. The part at the top, it changes. There's a slideshow you can go through to show different shots of the course. And this one here is the first one, and it shows a helicopter or drone view, I guess, depending on how you look at it, looking at the course. And I forget the exact orientation here, but there is a pond. Okay, so this is what that one is. That's like the number 4 hole that you're looking at. And the first 3 holes of the course are back on the back side of that. And then there's this pond, which is, you're playing off the left side here. There's a tee box on the left side over here. And it plays to the green here in front here. And this is a tricky little corner of the lake. You don't play on the right side of the lake, but you play on the left side. So in this part of the course runs clockwise down around this lake and then up a hill to the left and then back down the side that you see over there where all the dirt is. And then this is the tee shot from that particular hole. So this is, I believe it's number 4. Yeah, there's kind of, it's number 4, I think. And it's a 175-yard tee shot from the tee box, the gold tees. And of course, the kind of shots you can take it a little bit too easy. And I ended up skipping a ball off this lake here just to the other side. It literally jumped up onto the side, and I had about 2 feet to stand between the ball and the water. Of course, next shot I put into the water, trying to not hit it into the lake, and just totally screwed up. Fished it out of the water and popped it on. Not as easy as it may seem. I probably could have played it better, but in all, and it was just a hole that did not quite work out for me. Let's put it that way. So, the course is not a super hard course, but it's, again, you can't take it too easy. And especially when I played, there was a lot of wind. The wind was constantly blowing like across the lake in this case, and the whole course, because it runs sort of north and south, and then the wind is blowing from the west going to the east, and it was getting up to 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour at times. And every shot you take on this course, you pretty much have to factor that wind in. And in this case, the wind was behind me, so I was trying not to over club it, and ended up under clubbing it or topping it. Anyway, so the next here, let me just read this off to you. This is a description on the website. The appeal of the St. George Golf Club has always been the favorable greens. I think it's kind of like the greens are fairly benign, at least in that sun and heat, and it was definitely cooking. It wasn't as hot as it has been here lately with temperatures in the 110s. It was about 95 this time, but it was just baking. I mean, I literally almost quit after the 9th hole. It was just I was getting broiled. Probably even hotter than the days before, and I didn't drink as much either, which was another mistake. Water all over the course, still passing right by it. I'm too tough to drink, and I ended up not drinking until I got to the 9th or 10th hole, and then just started guzzling water. As with most older courses, the greens are not as tricky, and putts are makeable for longer distance, even for the average player. That's true pretty much, anytime that you're putting, there's a chance that you're going to make a long distance putt. Big greens, the areas around the green provide players area for their less than perfect shots. Again, true, that definitely came in to play on the 18th, for instance, definitely. But the 9th green is a surprisingly tricky shot. Coming down the fairway, you're hitting to a green that's on the side of a lake on your left-hand side. And then there's a section of the lake that runs in front of the 9th green that you have to cross over. And then there's the 9th green, and then there's a swale after that, and then there's the 18th green. So the problem is I forgot the swale was there for the 18th side, but on the 9th side, I wasn't aware that it was there, so I didn't know that there was a swale after that. But they have a nice course map. All the holes, they have a nice book, club course booklet. Goes along with a nice scorecard that has nice pictures of all the holes and everything. They're not on the boards that are on the holes, but they're definitely on these 2 books you get at the clubhouse for free. Very nice. I would definitely recommend that more courses have something like this in the area, because a lot of times it comes in very handy to have not 1 but 2 references for the hole. Still didn't really help me on, I think, the 11th. I think I skipped the 17th. I'm not sure, but somewhere in the back there I skipped one of the holes and just crossroad to follow the sign for the 18th green tee box and played it out. Anyway, so around the 9th and the 18th, you definitely want to take a look at the course map before you go at those greens that are sitting on the side of the lake. Very, very interesting challenge, how most of the course is just a reasonably decent challenge, but those 2 holes, hey, let's put the greens right on the side of the lake. Okay, no problem. I guess they had to make up the course rating on those last holes for each side. So where were we? During the peak season, November through March, the golf course is a distinct look of other southwest courses where the rough is a brown look, while the tees, fairways, and greens are a rich green color. And I guess that means that the rough is Bermuda or something similar, which doesn't go green all year round. The course is one of the better layouts in the area and is perfect for the golfers who like to walk and wish to mix a little exercise with their round. I completely agree with that. It is mostly flat, with the exception of a few elevated greens and tees. Not really even elevated greens, but more elevated tees. And it's really just a straightforward course. Pretty much what you see is what you get. There's very few in the way of hidden hazards. If any hidden hazards, like the wind generally is the bigger hazard. You almost always have to be careful not to slice a ball off the tee, because it will just be gone off to the right, with the wind, and either in someone's backyard or in the waste, or where that creek is, or in the water where the lakes are. And it definitely is a challenge for people who have trouble hitting fairways. If you don't have trouble hitting fairways, it's a pretty benign course. Honestly, it's decent length, decent everything, but you really need to have some skill at putting the ball in play where you want it to, roughly at least close to where you want it to go. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's certainly walkable, definitely. Nothing major in terms of elevation change, and it's not that long of a course. It's sort of a figure 8, which I'll get to in a minute here in another slide. Challenging par 3s over water, specifically the 9th and 18th. The 4th that I've already talked about a little bit here. And those holes, there's also a few holes on the backside that are adjacent to a sort of dry creek that's in front of the houses that's off to your left, that you have to be careful not to go too far right and get into that dry creek. And the same coming back on the backside on 14, 15, 16. There is a dry wash on the right that has a large patch of waste and stuff, and you don't want to be over there for sure. So it's not the toughest course at all, not at all, but it's still challenging and still a good layout. One of the things I kept saying to myself over and over again when I was playing was, this is not like the best looking course, and it looks kind of shabby in a lot of parts, and it's definitely not and impressive either with the grass. There's a fair number of parts that are low enough where it's still wet after many days of sun baking the course, where water broke through somewhere and flooded parts of the course, and you have to be careful for that. But it's a good layout. I think it was a really good, decent layout to play golf in, and I had no shortage of enjoyment actually playing it. It's just that you really need to kind of be on at least the part of your game that says, I'm not going into the waste and I'm not going into somebody's backyard. There's enough houses around the course where you definitely have to worry about going into someone's backyard. So a decent course, very, very decent, and it was $50, and I cannot complain about the price or the challenge of golf that it had, although I will definitely say it is not the most impressive looking course that you will see out there. So let's see here. What's next? Okay, that's the cover here. Overview from Google Maps, and you can see that there is the green section here on the left there where the course runs, and it's sort of where that road crosses there. That is where 11 starts, and it goes down to the turn. It comes back, and that comes up to 17, which is in here somewhere. Then it crosses the road over here. It goes right, and then you come down this other section here, still in the green, and that's where 18. The whole side of that part where it goes down to the bottom of towards the bottom of the image, right about where that break is. That's where the break is, and you see the green, and the green is going to be right about where that break is, and we'll get to that in a minute. This whole south part here is just a big loop, just a figure circle that goes around and back, and then you go to the right towards number 9 in the clubhouse. The big greenish section, which I would like to start with, honestly. The clubhouse is actually kind of a pain because there are 2 roads that go to the left. One road goes into this block of houses here, and then you have to come all the way down and back out to get out of there. It's a one-way, not a one-way, but basically it's a little circle, semicircle of houses and condos. The course actually starts at the next street, and then you go weaving through all these little parking lots to get to the course. And then you have to take a cart down to the beginning of the course, which is in this brown section here, just under between these 2 dots here, and then it comes down to number 1 and then number 2, and then you cross here 3, 4, and 5 coming back around the bottom, 5 and 6, 7 coming up to the street here. There's an elevated T there. That's going to put you in number 8. It's got a nice big hill on the right of the green and a sand trap there, and a row of houses title on the left side, which is a good challenging 400-yard hole from the back tees. And then number 9, which is this tricky part here, which goes diagonally back to the clubhouse, and the green, you can barely see it there, just short of the 18th green, and that is literally got water on 2 sides for that green, which you don't see many greens like that, period, overall, much less one on some scruffy course like this. That was a challenge. That was kind of a fun shot from there. And then you go back to the clubhouse and start on the right side of the course and go down to 11 and cross this road, and 12, 13, and goes around. And you can see this whole side of houses over here on the right. That's something, which is fairly generic. You have a course with houses on the right side, and that first tee shot, number 10, you're actually going to hit to this dogleg left, that there is a row of houses right there on the side of the fairway that you then have to split the trees on the left, and then there's the fairway on the right. And on the right side of that fairway, there's a row of houses. So you're on an elevated tee hitting into this with the wind blowing in, sort of into your face from the left corner, maybe 10 o'clock. That's a challenging shot. No question about it. You do not want to be over there in that brown stuff where all that waste is, but you also don't want to be on the brown stuff where the right is, because that's a row of houses over there. Another row of houses off to the right and going off to 12. And then that turn is roughly where I think 14 or 15 is, and it comes back. Still have all that waste and that dry wash out there to worry about. Not easy at all, but not super difficult either, because either way, on the holes coming back from 14 to 17, you do have the whole fairway to play. I mean, on both sides. So it's not just one side that you have to hit with trees on the left side. You do pretty much get the whole left side that you can play, and then play back across to the green, and that does come in handy. Same thing with number 18. It's plenty wide out there before you get to the turn. You only have to worry about it being tight when you turn to the right and then come back into the 18th green. So not too hard, not too easy. A good, decent slope 130 hole. But that's from the back tees. That's from the very back tees. And it's roughly 25 yards per tee that you move up, and it becomes a lot easier as you move to the blues and then to the whites. It's a much easier course to play from there. So I guess one of the things I could have started with was to show where it is in St. George. I don't really like playing the courses out here on Route 7 because there's just nothing there but desert and houses, and it's a big different look and feel. There are some courses out there that are supposedly top courses in the state and stuff like that. And I'm like, they're not all that impressive. Even Copper Canyon or whatever it is, Copper Ridge, not super impressive course. but not nearly as many houses as on the left side over here towards 15. So it's a big difference in the general layout. Sky Mountain is over here on Route 9 up by Washington. And that I definitely would think is a decent course, but also a mixture of houses and a mixture of fairways with mountains and stuff and canyons and stuff on the right. That's sort of in between the two. The courses on the left are much more housey, many more houses. The courses on the right are much more desert, with still enough houses to be annoying. And I'm not sure that I'd say any one of these was really my favorite. The whole time I was out here, the one that I really enjoyed was the course I played in Prescott, which is just a level above any of these courses, although it is a 3-hour drive from here down to Prescott. Even going out to Mesquite to play the course, Wolf's Creek, I have yet to go play like Conestoga or any of the other courses. I'm not sure I actually will. But overall, not bad, but still, no, it's not like world-beating golf. It's just decent. It's like it would be a bunch of decent courses in a small or medium-sized town in the East Coast. There's definitely nothing here that's like all woods and mountains and stuff like a lot of the courses in Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, or Tennessee that are really good, like the Bears Creek. What is that? Bear Claw in Tennessee, just way head and shoulders above any of the courses here. They're not bad courses, but I wouldn't say that they're really worth going out of your way to play them. I'm driving 150, 200 miles up here to play them. Prescott, different story. Absolutely worth the drive to play the course out there that I played. The other ones are just a good sort of weekend or weeky kind of thing, weekday kind of thing, and not bad. But the other thing, of course, is at this time of year they're relatively cheap. You know, in May to, I guess, November, when it's just before it starts getting really hot, when it's really hot, and just after it gets really hot. They're nice prices and so forth. You have to stand a little heat and so forth, but definitely not bad. So I think ultimately, by now, whip through all the pictures of the course, and I really would rather let the course do the talking from here. It is about as straightforward as you can get of a course, and you either like it or you don't like it. That's fine. It's definitely not expensive. That's not a problem. Has a decent clubhouse here, which is nothing really amazing. Some nice views, nothing again really amazing. They have a new restaurant that opened there. They're not serving beer in the restaurant yet because it's new enough where they don't have the liquor license now. So I don't know what the policy is for bringing beer from off the course to this place because they don't have a liquor license anywhere near here. The course does not have any alcohol to serve from the course. So I would definitely consider, bringing a 6-pack or something if you're going to play here. And there's a liquor store in the Shell, I guess it's Shell station, the gas station at the end of the street here, end of the block. And I would stock up there and bring it on. Nice stuff facility, nice course, nice people, nice price, a nice outing. I swear to you, by God, you don't want to play this course when it's hot. It's just so dry. It's amazing how dry it is despite the fact that it has all this water in the course. Okay, it is just parching you dry. And other than that, it's not bad at all. That's St. George Golf Course in St. George, Utah. $50 a round with a cart during the week, during the month of August. I have to say B-star. Kind of have to say B-star. It's a good enough course, but not that good. Just not all that much to it. And in no way, shape, or form can I give it a B+, but it's definitely better than a B. The golf is quite decent at this course.